All right. We are back on another episode of the Writers Game podcast. I am your host, Kyle King, CEO and founder of the Writers Game, 7-time published author. And I have somebody, look, this man is killing it. This man literally is absolutely killing the game. He's an author, he's a marketing guru. I mean, he's not a marketing coach, he's a marketing guru, and he's a podcast expert. And he teaches you how to turn your story on podcasts into multiple six figures and how to monetize what you're already doing on a regular basis, having conversations. How do you monetize that through the podcast channels and leveraging his book, Podcast Cash, as an opportunity to grow his following, grow his brand, as well as grow his business. Brother, how you doing?
Hey man, what's going on? I think I need to take you on the road. That was a great intro, bro.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, if anything that I missed, could you reintroduce yourself to the crowd? And just how are you impacting lives in so many people?
Yeah, I mean, I think you did a pretty good job. But if I could attempt to introduce myself as well as you have introduced me. I fancy myself as a digital media entrepreneur. I have a couple of expertise, and it's my desire to continue to sharpen these expertise. And one, as you mentioned, is through podcasting. One obviously is also through marketing, but essentially, what I want to do is let people know that they can actually monetize their impact, and there's different mediums in which they can do that. And as they're able to grow and share their skill set, their brilliance, their gift with the world, they'll be able to generate that revenue that they're looking for, and obviously by default impact more and more people along the way.
How has your book been able to really accelerate your career, in your business and all of the different offers that you currently have now?
It's a good question, man. Like I would say, the book brought opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean just opportunities in the sense of I get to speak more, or I'm getting these invitations. It brought. I mean, that stuff definitely happened, but it brought opportunities in terms of me being able to look at a broader scale of what's possible. Like, I think being able to really just repackage, repurpose that information, expound on it, grow as an entrepreneur. Because I think that first book, that was probably like 2020. I think
Okay.
the ASIC, the ASIC is to Success Playbook. I think that was like 2020. Um, and I just invest, bro. I just be investing, and I be investing my time and my revenue, my money. You know what I'm saying? To get to results faster, to learn more. Like I said, to sharpen, and even my processes. I feel like my processes has gotten better. I've been able to, help clients even a bit deeper. So I feel like that first book brought a lot of opportunities, not just on the revenue side, but just on the growth side as well.
Okay. Talk to us a little about podcasting. I know your brand has really been able to evolve and talking about the importance of podcasting. Why should everybody have a podcast, in your opinion?
Okay, so I believe that everyone should have a podcast um, for several reasons. I think number one, if you are someone looking to network, right? If you want to network, and especially network, what I like to call network up or network
Mm,
effectively, a podcast is a great free opportunity for you to do such. It's a platform that will provide you the opportunity to do that. So let me give you an example. If I don't have a podcast, and let's say let's say I wanted to talk to Kyle, right? And I just reached out to him cold. He doesn't know me for nothing. I'm in the
mm,
DMs or something. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? Like, you know, I see your content, you're killing it. I just want to know if I can get on a call with you. Now, Kyle might be like, well, bro, who are you? What's going on? Like, are you
mm.
looking to buy something? You want a consultation? Like, he's gonna really figure out. He's trying to filter me out before he would even consider getting me on the line, because it's probably not
Sure.
even worth his time. But if I come to Kyle and I say, hey man, listen, your content's going crazy. I've been on your page, I've been following you for a little bit. Listen, man, I have a podcast and I would love to just share your story on my platform. And I think you would be a great fit for that. 9 times out of 10, or I'm gonna actually say 10 times out of 10, that's going to work.
Of
The one
course.
time that it doesn't work, it just means it's not the right time for that person. That person will come around. Everyone I've ever wanted to get on a podcast, I've gotten on a podcast. It's just a conversation of, is it going to be sooner or later? You know what I mean? So
So,
just from
so
that ability to network up is tremendous in terms of growing your connections and your revenue.
So when you think about podcasting, you're not just teaching people to just go on there and launch a podcast. You're teaching them to leverage this platform as a tool to be able to get into rooms, meet mentors, meet experts, and be able to build relationships more strategically so that they can also grow their career. Because I think a lot of people only teach podcasts from the perspective of just getting your message out there, but you're also communicating it from the perspective of leveraging this as a tool to building your professional network as well. Is that right?
And I teach it from a standpoint of monetizing, number one, and then also networking, because a lot of podcasters, they don't understand that they can monetize soon, like as soon as episode one. A lot of them default to, hey, listen, I just know in my mind I'm gonna just be doing this for a while because I'm not gonna get a brand deal or a sponsorship or make money on Google AdSense via YouTube right now. So I'm gonna just rock out. So they approach it that way, and because they approach it that way, it delays the opportunity for them to actually generate revenue. So I'm saying, do it simultaneously. I remember when I was in Boston. This is probably 2018 before I moved, and I was in my office, my real estate office at the time, sitting with one of my best friends. We used to do these creative sessions every week where you know they will work, she will work, and then my other friend, they will work independently, and I will work independently, but we do it together. It was kind of like a mini mastermind or whatever. We bounce ideas off. And by the way, sidebar, that's very effective. So if you got some friends that are doing your thing, get together weekly and then just work independent but collectively, I'm guaranteeing there's some power that's gonna come out of that. But anyway,
Of course.
so I said to her, I'm like, yo, I don't have no millionaire friends. Like my friends are cool. There's nothing wrong with my friends. This is back. This is 2018. And I'm like, because I'm referring to like all my friends that are at home. I'm like, I love my friends. They're cool, like but I don't know any. I have no millionaire friends, and it's not like I'm like, yo, let me hit up a millionaire friend and borrow some money. But I'm just like, I don't have anyone that's doing so much better than me that I could learn somebody. I mean, that I could learn something from. That I could just reach out and touch. You know what I'm saying? Like a text, I can DM, I can call or whatever the case may be, right? So I was like, I got to do something about this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to do something about this. So the first thing I thought about was, if I create a platform, if I have a platform that I could share, that I can bring people on, it's going to make it so much easier for me to intentionally create these relationships. I can literally pinpoint whomever I want to speak with and end up befriending because of the 30, 40, 50-minute podcast or however long it's going to be.
Of
And then
course.
you're able to, collaborate, do deals, get in the get in the Rolodex or get in the phone. You're easy be able to be like, oh yeah, I connected with Kyle about X, Y, Z. Oh yeah, I just connected with Sarah. I think you guys would be perfect bang. And then you end up being that conduit to that relationship, spearheading that relationship. So I just started doing that with intention. And then, fast forward, I got, hella friends that, are millionaires and become millionaires. And it's just easy to just share on that, that brain trust and that, that knowledge equity, right? The network equity,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to just do so many amazing things. And then you're able just to bounce these ideas off or just support or just create opportunities. Or, what's pretty interesting about having some millionaire friends? You ever have an amazing idea and it's like you talk to your friends that you grew up with.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, that's a dope idea, but none of them could invest in it, or none of them could take it to the next level or move it fast or whatever. If you speak to, some of your millionaire friends with the same ideas, you can probably get that running the next minute. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because everything's about, relationships, being able to have that social capital as
Yeah.
well.
Hmm.
How does someone that's watching this go about starting a podcast? Where do they start?
Yeah, that's a good one. So we're on a great platform right now. So this is StreamYard, right? So you don't need heavy equipment. This is just software, right? So you can just get software. And StreamYard may even have a free option. I believe you might be able to go free for a little bit. So you just sign up for an account like this. Now I have a mic. It doesn't seem like Kyle has a mic unless his mic is not on the screen. But you don't need a mic. You can use your laptop, right? Your laptop has a microphone capacity. So if you really just need a laptop, you need software. StreamYard is so powerful that literally once you're done doing this, it will record two tracks for you. It will record a video track, which you're seeing right now, and it will record an audio track, right? Now, with the audio track and the video track, you can then take it a step further. You can take the recording of this video and put that on YouTube, right? So now people can view your podcast.
Exactly.
You can take the audio from this recording and then you can put it on a podcast host. We're talking about like a Podbeam. We're talking about Buzzsprout, Simplecast. Some of those options. Open up account that might be maybe like $20 or something, and then they will blast it out via the RSS feed to your Apple, your Spotify, your Google Podcasts, your Stitcher, your Heart Radio podcast. There's so many of them, and then you're good to go. Now, there's a couple of things you may want to do for the presentation piece, right? You may want to have an intro, an outro, just kind of frame it up. You may want to do some light editing, before you put it up. But that's really all you need. The other thing that I would say is make a list of, you call it, you mentioned as well, like when you write the book, but like your top 100, like who do you want to have on the show, and I would use a networking up strategy where you select people that, you intensely want to build relationships with. Like who do you want to talk to? Who would be great? You know what's cool about podcasts? They're like mini masterminds. So like if no one likes to feel like they're being taken advantage of when they're like, yo man, like I like what you're doing. Can I pick your brain? It's like, nah, bro, you can't. But if that same person was like, hey, listen, I would like to have you on the show, you can literally ask the same question that you would ask that person if you took them to lunch or picked their brain. Exactly. And not only will they answer them, they're going to expound on those things. Exactly. I was on a podcast yesterday, and this is why I said no one says no to podcasts. Like this person, it took me a very long time to get on the show. It took me probably like, it feels like 18 months to get on the show just because of schedule or whatever. But I'm on the show with her. I'm not even talking. She's going, listen. She's going in. And that's the great thing about, some people that are conversationalists. It makes your job so much easier. Like you may have your questions like preloaded in your mind, like, yeah, I'm going to touch on this, we're going to ask this, whatever. But you may not even get to those questions because your guest is just kind of going crazy with their delivery. Right. And in one story ends up going to another story, ends up going to another story. And that's cool because, they want to do that. They want to share. They want to impact. They want to make a difference. And I found out that was her first one, which was crazy. I'm like, this is your first podcast? Like with all this information and the way that you're sharing and want to impact, more people need to, hear what you got going on. So it's just incredible that you can do that. And it's so, it's so valuable. It's just so valuable.
Of course. So once you have the podcast started, so first step is to find the system or the software.
Yeah.
To start recording, then understand who do you want to have on your show. How do you go from who do you want or starting to actually monetizing your first podcast? Like what do you do? What are the steps to being able to monetize your podcast?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I want to take a quick little step back for people because there may be some people that are like, you know what? That sounds like a great idea, but I want my podcast to be in person. I want to sit with my people. Mm-hmm. So you can 100% do that. You don't need a studio. You really just need your equipment. So I just want to touch on that for people that are like, I like the virtual option, but I'm more like an in-person person, right? So you want to make sure you have, at least one camera. You might want two, depending on if you want one or two angles. You need tripods to put the cameras on. You're gonna need SD cards, like things like this. Extra batteries is a must, bro. I'm gonna just let you know. Get your extra batteries. Make sure you have your your plugs, right? For what are they called? The extension cords. Just we want to make sure you have one of the long ones, just in case you need to plug in multiple things. Um, Bluetooth mics. I recommend Bluetooth mics. You can bring the lapel, the lapels or the cords, but I recommend, having a Bluetooth mic. Rode has a nice setup. CDI has a nice setup. Other than that, you pretty much good to go with that. You know what I'm saying? That's really all you need for the setup standpoint. Now you may want to either rent a studio, maybe pair space. Maybe there's a pod studio that's already set up. Maybe you're gonna shoot on location at a guest house or whatever. That's all you need. You just want to test your stuff. Once you have that, it's not as easy as StreamYard. You're gonna take that. You're gonna take the footage. You're gonna have to upload it, have someone edit it, or you're gonna edit it, bounce it down, cut it all up, and then you're gonna send it to again YouTube and Buzzsprout or whatever.
Exactly.
So you could do all of that. I do both, but I just wanted to kind of just let people know that may want to have that in-person impact. And obviously, if they got questions, they can just ask me.
Of course.
Okay. I want to use the perspective of your clients because they have books. So if you got a book right now and you're like, you want to start a podcast or whatever, how can I monetize my podcast? I'm going to share 4 quick tips of how you can do it. All right. Number one is, and these are not with brand deal sponsorships, so a large audience. I don't teach this out the gate. You can add these things in as you grow, but I don't want you subconsciously think you need these things to make money with your podcast. So number one is if you're a client of Kyle's or if you have a book, right? If you have your story, basically ready to be monetized in a digital asset or a physical asset, and you got to show. The first thing I would say to you is use the asset, right? Having a product is extremely important. That's number one. But even more impactful is having a digital product. Because if that product is digital, you don't have to worry about the shipping, right? And people can buy it right now. So what you do is you basically have your story in the digital form or whatever the book's going to be. And you use that as a live read or a commercial insert in a podcast. So I'll give you an example. If you do a live read, right? Excuse me, it'll be something like, hey guys, welcome to the XYZ podcast. On today's show, we got Kyle. He's an author, he's a strategist, and I'm super excited to bring him on. But right before we get to him, I just want to let you guys know about my book that's going to help you with ABC. So if you got a problem with XYZ, make sure you go over to abcbook.com and let's get right to the show. Kyle, what's up, man? Welcome. So you just tee that up. So what you do with that is you send them to where you want them to go. If you want them to go to the domain, if there's a link in the bio, if there's a link in the show notes, you direct them to exactly where you want them to go. Now, let's say fast forward, that was episode 1. You done did 10 episodes. Now you got 10 episodes that are compounding, marketing that product for you. And you ain't even doing a podcast right now. You about to go take your son to get some shoes. Or you about to go take a walk. You about to go walk your dog. Or maybe, you're going away for the weekend. Maybe at work. People are listening to that pod. They're listening to episode 1 to 10. What if you got, 10, 100, maybe 1,000 downloads of listens to all of those episodes? They're compounding. So everyone has to run into that app.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you are going to do not the live read, which you can, but if you're just going to do a commercial insert, you make a commercial for your book or whatever that digital product is outside of the podcast. And then post-production, you just add it in. So if you want it in the beginning, mid-roll, or the end, you just put it in the video version or the audio version.
Okay.
Number 2 is my favorite. I actually just made a piece of content on this the other day, and I'm going to just keep hitting them overhead because it's my favorite. I just want people to get it. The most, I know I said impactful, but this is pretty impactful too. It's a great way for you to predictably and scalably. Is that a word? Scalably?
It's a word today.
It's an easy way to know how much money you're bringing in every single month with consistency. So if you need to bring in 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever, this is the best way for you. This is one of the best ways for you to do it. Okay. And that is through a subscription. right? And not just any subscription, but a subscription that's tied to your podcast. So, for instance, this is the Writers Game podcast, right? So, Kyle has a Writers Game community. Is that what you call them? Is it just the Writers Game community?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my example. So we've all been on flights. Kyle, when's the last time you was on a flight?
Last week, a few weeks ago, maybe.
All right. Did you get, was you economy? Did you get an economy seat?
Yeah.
What did you know? Okay, what did you notice about the economy seat?
I mean, it's just a regular seat.
Okay, boom. Regular seat, you in there with like 100 people. There's a line if you gotta go to the bathroom. You don't got a full menu. Sometimes a flight attendant's got to take some time to get to you. You might sit in the middle, which is uncomfortable, right? The leg room ain't really leg rooming. You know what I'm saying? You just it's regular, like you said. Well, how did you get to economy? Did you have to walk past first class?
Yeah.
What did you notice about first class?
They're just sitting down in the seats.
First class looks popping. Less people going to the bathroom. You got way more leg room. If it's a long flight, you might have a pillow, you might have a blanket. You got a full bar menu. You might get free alcohol. They actually say your full name. You might meet the captain. It's just a different experience. How does that relate to the podcast? Well, everyone that's listening to your podcast or any of the podcast platforms or YouTube, that's regular, bro. That's regular. Anyone can do that. But not anyone can be a part of the Writers Game podcast community, which is a premium experience, which is an experience that, maybe we do a live session every week for the community. Maybe we bring a guest in there. Maybe there's exclusive content that Kyle may put in that community. Maybe there's motivational links. Maybe there's some ebooks that he throws in there. Maybe there's quarterly meetups, right? He's going to add so much value to this community. And what if it's only $99 a month? Can I hang out with Kyle in this community 4 times a week, get access to guests, access to exclusive content? He might test free products before he puts it to the marketplace. It's just a different experience. It ain't regular, bro. It's premium. So if you multiply 10 people, right, that's $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. You know how many podcasts don't make $1,000 a month?
Oh,
a lot of them.
Let alone $1,000 a year.
Now check this out. You only need 10 people. So a lot of podcasters, they're out there like, man, I'm only got 100 views on my podcast. Only got 80 views on my podcast. Well, if we was in a room and there was 80 to 100 people in your room, you would be really excited about the opportunity to speak to that 80 to 100 people. So let's say only, 10% of your podcast listeners or viewers convert on that $99 offer. There's your 8 to 10 people right there.
So what you're saying, because this is definitely a different perspective, and we have a question that I want to bring up in a second. What you're saying is that it's not necessarily about the amount of listeners or the amount of viewers, because if you position step number 1, which is using this as an asset, having your story in a digital form and being able to do a live read, whether it's before or after, or insert commercials, then number 2, being able to have some type of subscription community. If you have 100 people only that view it, but 10% of those people are closing on a monthly basis on a $99 offer, you're growing revenue on recurring revenue on a monthly basis. Is that what you're saying?
What I want everybody to do right now, if you listen to this, if you're watching it in real time, if you're watching and listen to the playback, I want you to do a budget. I want you to figure out how much money does it take for you to run your life right now, right? And once you have that budget together, I want you to do an audit. And the audit is going to be removing that Hulu that you thought you canceled, a long time ago, or that Amazon Prime that you don't really use or whatever. Get down to that number, right? Now let's say that number is $2,600 a month to run your life, and this is just to make sure you can move and shape. So that'll tell you right now your goal, especially if you have a podcast subscription, right? Your premium community. Your goal should be just to get 26 people. Now that 26 people is going to gross you about that 2,600. And guess what? You just stabilize your income. You don't need 1,000 people. You just need 26. Let's do the math. Let's say you did 3 podcast episodes. You averaging about 100 viewers. You close 10% of those. That's 30 people. You just made $3,000, and you didn't just make 3,000. You're projected to make 36,000 off of 30 people. And guess what? Those podcasts are still getting views. They're still getting listens. They're still getting downloads. You're still making podcasts, right? So it don't stop. You're gonna bring the energy. The reason why I really love podcasts is because podcasts they're anchored in evergreen. As soon as this episode's done, Kyle's gonna anchor it, and now you can listen to it and watch it forever.
Of course,
right? And it's evergreen, so he can share it with whomever he wants. He's gonna anchor that, and it's just gonna be shared forever.
That's good.
So I mean, you might get 100 views this week and be like, man, nobody listened to my joint. But what if you get hot in 6 months? What if you go on my show? They're gonna go back, and that episode 2 that didn't go crazy when you released it, the episode 2 going crazy. And guess what? Now everyone's still listening to that live read ad or that insert from your book. They're still getting the community offer. And if you have your opt-in set up properly, which is, I don't even know how much time we got left, but I done put together a crazy strategy. Anyway, if you got your opt-in set up properly, you're gonna filter them through, right? And then they can have the opportunity to get in. And the thing about it is, you should always speak up your community. Hey, listen, this week in our community we did XYZ. So if you're not in it, you're missing out. But I'm happy you're here because we still talk about A, B, C. But if you want to go a little bit deeper, you want to join the Writers Game community. We just had XYZ on yesterday.
That's good, Brendan. Oh, that's good. That's good. Interestingly, I'm gonna put that in as a part of my strategy when I'm launching my book.
Bro, you should. What you talking about?
Because I got some ideas for you. I got some ideas. Yeah, we're gonna talk offline about that.
I already got. I listen. Wait till you see my formula.
Like that.
My formula crazy. I've been working on this for the past couple of days.
For sure. We do have a question. Do you suggest having a certain amount of followers before starting a podcast?
No, Tish. I think that is first of all, I love your question. I just want to say that, right? I love your question. I would say no, though, because I think this question is a question that may slow you up. It may slow you up from doing it, right? Because you may think, hey, I need XYZ amount. You might not ever have that amount. How you know what I mean? I would just say just start, because there's people that you don't know that are waiting for your messages and waiting for your podcast. So I would just go. You're gonna grow as you go.
I like that. So we focused on tip 1 being use it as an asset, tip 2 being that subscription model, and then I heard you had 4 tips. What are our last 2 tips? Talk to us.
So number 3 is is 2 parts. All right.
Okay.
Number 3 is 2 parts. So I'm gonna use Kyle as an example. So Kyle, what's your high ticket or your main offer outside of your podcast? So if we're talking about outside of this Writers Game community, what would be your highest offer, or what would be your main offer?
The main offer would be our $12,500 guided program, which works. So it's a 6-month program that we take authors through.
Awesome. Okay. 12.5. All right. So what you want to do is you want to have a link to have people come on the show. So when Kyle's bringing me on the show, he doesn't just want to book me. He wants to book me through a link, right? And the link is going to be like a jot form or like a type form, something like that, right? You can even use Calendly. Now, the first statement on that link, you'll have a little statement at the top. This is a free podcast sponsored by the Writers Game, right? Question, and then you can say, sponsored by Writers Game, we're excited to have you on the show. Question, have you thought about writing a book to tell your story? Yes, no, maybe. If they say yes, Kyle has just successfully pre-framed his guess, so he knows, okay, he's interested or she's interested in putting a book together. No doesn't mean no. No just means no right now. Maybe he does or she does want to put a book together, but they were just busy. They just wanted to put the application. Maybe means they're interested. right? Cool. That's the first question, right? So when Kyle follows up with me like, hey, Brendan, look forward to have you on the show. Or if whoever's going to set it up, hey, Brendan, look, I'm excited to have you on the show. I saw that you, during your application, you selected that you're interested in writing a book. Just want to let you know, this is what we do, in our agency. And I would love the opportunity to talk to you about it. Maybe we could talk to you about it after the podcast. Yeah, man, that'd be great. Because there is a book that I wanted to write. It's been, burning. My wife's been getting at me, and I finally got time to get my story down. Perfect. So now Kyle just created an opportunity to have a call. He successfully reverse pitched the guest that may not have even been someone that he would have had as a client, but he just reverse pitched the guest. Now the guest is telling him that he needs his services.
Exactly.
He just made a discovery call. He just created a brand new client. I literally did this yesterday, right? Now, part two of that same application is what I like to call, is the other part, right? I like to call it your VIP package. Woo! Okay. Tell you about this VIP package. So, on the same link, the next question would be, would you like to upgrade your podcast experience to the VIP package? Right? Kyle, would you like to upgrade your podcast experience to the VIP package?
Yeah, what is that?
Exactly. What did he say? What is that? What do they all say? What is that? What are they going to say? What is that? Everyone's going to say, what is that? Which is perfect because now it creates a conversation. So just imagine, actually, before I even do this, I'm going to do it and then I'm going to bring it back. So just imagine Kyle and I went to, I don't know, let's say we went to In-N-Out or whatever, or we went to whatever his favorite burger joint is. We both get burgers and fries. Now we're about to check out. The person that's going to cash this out is most likely going to be, hey, would you like to upsize that, supersize that? Do you want the combo?
Exactly.
Right? So Kyle may take the combo. I may not. Generally, what is the combo? What is the combo, Kyle, that they ask you? If we already got burgers and fries, what's the combo?
You're just going to upsize it to a large or get a drink.
100%. A drink ain't a hard sell. A drink is, I'm going to get thirsty anyway. I'm either going to get thirsty now, in the car, or when I get home, right? A drink is just a value sell.
Mm-hmm.
It's a value sell.
Of course.
How does that relate to the podcast? Well, Kyle, I see that you got a book, man. I see you got this Writers Game program. So on the podcast, you're going to go crazy, 30, 40 minutes. I know you're going to bring a lot of value. But then, with the VIP package, what we would do is you can let me know if this works for you. We can actually shoot a commercial for you on location and put that in your podcast episode. Would that be of value to you?
Yeah, of course.
How about 8 or 10 clips for social media that you can take and you can post on your own? Would that be good?
Yeah.
How about we just I don't know if you got an affiliate offer or anything like that, but how about we blast it out to our email, following, or we also do a blast out to our text community of your offer.
I like that.
Would that be valuable?
Of course. How much?
Okay, cool. So that's only $500.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's nothing.
So what's gonna happen is this: your guests aren't gonna promote the show anyway because they don't. They're going to be excited they was on your episode. The episode's out. You're going to send them the link. They ain't going to be posting it, sharing it. They ain't. But if you do several things. One, if you offer them the VIP package, you're going to convert at least 25%. So that if you do 4 podcasts in a month, that's an extra $500, right? So you got an extra $500 for just offering something that's a value offer that they're going to want anyway. Everyone wants content. Everyone needs something to post. They're not going to be posting your long form, but if you chop up eight clips and give it to them that they ordered, they're going to post all 8.
Exactly.
And if you brand the clips with your podcast logos and stuff, they essentially paying you to promote your show.
Exactly.
Right? You put an ad of their own product inside their episode, which doesn't cost you anything. Right? You email blast it out. You text message blast out. That episode with a a highlight to their product, that doesn't cost you anything. You're essentially just paying for the edits, unless you're going to edit the clips yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. Now, How do you make more money with this offer? Well, the first part is obviously going to be your high ticket. So if Kyle closes, one person a month, right, off those 4 opportunities, that's 12.5. He just made 12.5 for the podcast. Well, if he closes one person off of the VIP package, that's another 500. He just made 13,000. But what if Kyle's in his bag this month? What if he got extra time to shoot podcasts? Guess what? He don't have to worry about posting them. He just has to worry about creating them. Exactly. What if instead of the 4, he was like, I'm gonna just batch 10 podcasts this month. Exactly. That means he has 10 opportunities from warm clients to sell the 12.5 and to pitch the VIP package for $500.
I like that.
Right. So you just created more opportunities, and it's symbiotic. So you're gonna post those episodes anyway. Those episodes still gonna have your digital book promo in there. It's still gonna have your subscription promo in there. And then maybe you can also still just take you can create a commercial for your main offer and put that at the end, or make that at the mid roll.
So when you think about podcasting, really, it's about leveraging your already existing assets that you have, whether it's a book, whether it's a course, whether it's something, being able to take that asset, build a community from that, as well as creating more opportunities, leveraging your guests. So when we think about this, and I love the answer that you gave to Tish, just start. Like you have something. Somebody on here right now has something that they want to share with the world, whether you're an author already, an expert, an industry leader, something. You have something that you want to share with the world. Now it's time for you to take that and monetize your message and be able to help you magnify your voice. And I know you still have one more tip, so talk to us.
Yeah. So this one, right? This one is for everyone out there that has a podcast. It's perfect for people just starting, right? But everyone out there that has a podcast have been operating it as a hobby. You've been operating your podcast as a side hustle. You've been operating your podcast as a side project. What I want you to do is stop operating your podcast like that and recognize that your podcast is a media business. You are in the media business. So effectively, what you need to do is stop playing around, structure your podcast, create that LLC, get that EIN, get it structured properly so the bank's underwriting department can see you as a real business, and you can be positioned to get business credit. You could be positioned to write off every software, hardware piece of equipment that you invested in them. You can write that off. You can create business credit, which is going to give you the leverage. And now you can fund your own show. Maybe you want to get, Kevin Hart on the show. And, you saw that it might cost 20 bands to get him on the show. But you know what that would do for your brand. Guess what? Now you have the opportunity and the leverage to do that. What if you wanted to travel and just do a bunch of podcasts in Hawaii?
Exactly.
You could do that, right? So what you want to do is structure this podcast as a media business, structure it as the LLC that it is, fully optimize that position. And then when you have that, start positioning yourself to get access to business credit. Now, if you're like, my credit's not really in the best position, that's all good. Because your credit doesn't need to be in the best position for you to structure it. So while you're structuring it, you can go back and work on the things that you may need to work on to put your personal credit in an advantageous position. And then if that is going to be 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, however long it takes to, get it right, then you can go and submit for some business credit leverage and really be able to grow your show.
No, I love that. And if you're listening right now, you need to take action. You need to leverage your story to go start a podcast and build a business beyond your story, leveraging the podcast as a tool to build your network, to be able to enhance your overall following, build your brand visibility, as well as make more money and monetize your message through this process as well. Tip number 1, just to recap, use it as an asset. Tip number 2, subscriptions. Build a subscription model. It's not about the viewers. It's about converting the people that want to be able to get a premium experience. Tip number 3, link people that are bringing on you as guests. So the people that you want to bring on as guests have a link, have a Calendly link. I wrote it down here. And the first question that you should be asking is, Hey, have you thought about doing, and then insert your offer and then reverse pitch them, create opportunities for you as well by creating a VIP package and a VIP experience. Then tip number 4 is understand that you are a media business. You are a media business. Go through the necessary channels and build an LLC, leverage business credit, be able to bring these better guests on so that it can build the visibility of your brand as well as your business. So, Brendan, one last word that you have for our followers before we close out today. One last word or strategy that you'd like to give them. Talk to us.
Yeah, what I would like to say is probably if I could give two things. One would just be reiterating Tisha's question to just start. So if this is something that you've been wanting to do and you've been talking about and saying it, do it, man. I would just literally start. And then the second thing that I want people to really, really, really like receive this. And maybe you're not going to receive it right now. Maybe you need to listen back. Maybe this is going to be a message that's going to resonate with you in the next 30 days, whatever the case is. But you need to understand that content is very powerful, and not just any content, your content. So whatever your specialty is, whatever you are an expert in, or maybe you are on a journey of, getting your expertise. Your responsibility is to teach, share, inform, right, and entertain your potential clients. You can do that on your podcast, but you can take that same philosophy
Yeah.
and put that in your other areas. If you are successfully informing, entertaining, sharing, and educating, you are growing your relationships with these people.
Of course.
One of the things that entrepreneurs do a lot is they drop the ball on potential clients because for some weird reason they assume that if you put his offer out, people have to take it right away. But when they don't take it right away, you get frustrated and you're like, man, well, I'm not selling. Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you purchased something off the first offer? When's the last time you bought something immediately? People don't think about that. They're like, well, my normal purchase process might be 2 weeks. Well, if it takes you 2 weeks to make a buying decision, why would some stranger that just came across your content or just learned about you buy immediately? Right? Your job is to develop that relationship through informing them, educating, sharing, and entertaining. So right now, I've been on this podcast with Kyle for 45 minutes or whatever the case may be. Some of you guys never heard of me. Maybe some of you guys have heard of me. But guess what? Because we spent 45 minutes together, the know, like, trust that I have has developed with you. You guys may want to search me up now. You may want to click that link below and check out my Instagram or go to my YouTube or whatever the case may be. You're already interested. Now that I got you in my ecosystem, it's my opportunity to nurture you because someone may buy something now because of this 45-minute, time that we spent together, but someone may buy something in 6 months.
Exactly.
But if you don't connect with me between now and 6 months, you lost that sale, right? So those are the things that I would share. Really, really, take your content seriously. Know it's your responsibility to inform, educate, share, and entertain. And then also, just start. So those are the things I would share on the closeout.
I love that. I've written so many notes and I have some strategies that I'm going to employ moving forward. We'll definitely talk offline because I'm going to need your support with building out this whole community and how to leverage that. So
I didn't even tell you that. We're going to have to have a whole nother podcast for the other thing. Bro.
Yeah. So we'll definitely. If you are still with us, if you're watching the replay or if you're watching the live stream, we appreciate you. We thank you so much. The goal of this podcast is to help people understand how to magnify their voice and monetize their message. Look, we have something for you. The Writer's Game book, The Business Behind Your Story, is on pre-launch, but will officially be pre-launched to the public February 1st. So stay tuned because we have something, and all of these live streams are built for you. They're built to answer your questions, give you all of the different resources that you need to be able to overcome the different things that you're experiencing so that you could use your story as a gateway to be able to increase your sales, scale your business, and be able to change lives in the process. So we thank you so much for being with us today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Hey, listen, and maybe if you're in the Writers Game community, that's our show is coming soon. You might get a copy of the book early.
There it is. Brendan, where can they find you?
Listen, you can follow me on all platforms, literally at the same handle at It's Brendan Boyd. So we're talking about Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's the same handle. Search me up there. I go crazy with the content. If you have any questions about podcasting, growing your brand, digital products, feel free to reach out. Look forward to connecting with you.
Love it. Love it. Appreciate you, Brendan, for your time as always. And we'll see you guys next time. See you guys.